Festive season's greetings and welcome to this year's very last edition of Primetime News. I'm Michael Madimba. As always, if it's your first time on this channel, please subscribe and also hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on the latest news updates. We begin tonight's bulletin from State House. President Dr. Hage Geingob says people who are not vaccinated are undermining the efforts of government in defeating the coronavirus, and they are reversing the gains government made in the fight against the pandemic. Erasmus Shalihakwe compiled our first report.
We shall not defeat this deadly virus if we don't take individual responsibility in this fight, but in favor of the common. Take individual responsibility, but in favor of common good. COVID-19 is transmitted by human beings. COVID-19 is transmitted by human beings. And the pandemic is killing largely those who are unvaccinated so far. Those of you who are not vaccinated are undermining the efforts of government in defeating this deadly virus. Those of you among us who are not vaccinated are reversing the gains we have made in the fight against COVID-19. Those among us who are not respecting the health protocols in place and are refusing to wear masks and practice social distancing are reversing the gains we have made in our fight against COVID-19. If we are truly committed to defeating this enemy and returning towards focusing our efforts on nation building and economic development, then we must all be willing to make the sacrifices necessary to ensure victory. Government, through Cabinet, has provided the means for recovery. So let us meet each other halfway.
Moving on to the Central Bank of Namibia. Though the difficult current economic challenges will see many households having to explore alternative financial means to afford continuous increases in food prices, the Bank of Namibia has indicated the economy cannot afford salary increments for public servants. Linia Dishena compiled this report.
That when prices are galloping or they are increasing, definitely they have got an impact on wages. I'm fully aware that especially the wages for the public sector has not really been keeping a pace with the cost of adjustment, which is an inflation. But certainly, I'm not sure whether at this point in time, where we are finding ourselves, being in an economy that is taking a bit long to fully recover, and also looking at the current fiscal position of government, if we have to make wage adjustment at this point in time, I can tell you it could be the right thing to do. I'm not disputing that. But for the sustainability of the fiscus, it's going to be a big challenge. It's something that we cannot, at this point in time, in my view, we cannot afford it. My advice would be, it's better to keep people in work and you pay them at a certain level, although that level may not be fully acceptable, instead of increasing it. And then after a couple of months, you realize that you cannot afford. That would be not a good alternative.
Moving on to health matters. The management of Katutura State Hospital has temporarily suspended the visiting of patients by members of the public until further notice, due to recent escalating COVID-19 cases.
A media statement issued on Wednesday by Katutura Intermediate Hospital Acting Medical Superintendent Dr. Mwadina Shuweda said that due to the increase of COVID-19 cases in the community, no visitors will be allowed to visit patients at the hospital until the hospital pronounces itself on the matter when the situation is brought under control. Shueda said the health and safety of the patients and visitors remains a top priority. Therefore, they have revised their visiting policy. These measures are from the 7th of December 2021 until stated otherwise. This has also prompted the Minister of Health and Social Services, Dr. Kalumbi Shangula, to appeal to the public to change their behavior to avoid further spread of the virus, especially during the festive season.
The Landless People's Movement LPM Youth Command element has taken a swipe at President Dr. Hage Geingob, who last week told jobless youth to create their own jobs as government is not the panacea to their unemployment woes. Edward Mumbu Jr. compiled the story.
In our view, we thought that it's a very arrogant response because currently we are in a crisis. The youth unemployment rate is at 40%. There is that around about 250,000 youth are unemployed, and includes unemployed graduates. So we are saying, as a sitting president and one that is at the seat of power, you cannot give such arrogant response, because there are some young people under the current economic status that they will never ever be employed. And in our view, we are saying that President Hage Geingob has a lot of advices. So why don't we then to make use or utilize those advices so that we can come up with better ways on how we can curb the high unemployment rate.
On to Namibia-US relations. The American Embassy in Namibia is set to collaborate with the Namibian government in producing clean energy from solar and green hydrogen in its endeavors to phase out fossil fuels. Erasmus Shalihakwe compiled this insert.
This was said by the U.S. Charge d'Affaires on Wednesday while addressing the media at the new U.S. Embassy construction site topping off ceremony in Windhoek. She said the embassy is showing its seriousness in working with Namibia to help address some of the challenges the country is facing, like the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic and HIV/AIDS and future pandemics that might threaten the world.
This embassy will partner with Namibia to make clean energy from solar to green hydrogen. And an important side note here, solar panels on site will provide half the electricity that this new embassy needs. From this platform, the United States and Namibia will grow both economies together through new trade ties, like we've done over this past year with beef, beer, and charcoal. We'll fight international smuggling and trafficking, which threatens human rights, legitimate commerce, and wildlife.
Your top roundup is up next. In the business and economic segment tonight, the Bank of Namibia's Deputy Governor, Epson Wanguta, says the Namibian economy cannot afford another lockdown. Linia Dishena compiled this report.
If you look really at the stage where the economy is, we can ill afford lockdown. The economy now really needs all kinds of support. And if we get into another lockdown, it will really have a further negative implication. But of course, if the president on the 15th announced the lockdown, the president is looking at other various factors, and that is his responsibility as the head of state. Us, we are only looking at it from the economic perspective, but he is looking at it from other different perspectives. It is his responsibility to ensure that he saves life. Now, if we as citizens, we are not taking full responsibility to behave according to the protocols that has been set, that may really result into that. But it is something that we have really to work all together as citizens for this nation to avoid that. And that responsibility is in our hands. We put on our mask, we adhere to the protocols, we get vaccinated. We do not wait until some of the vaccines that we have really acquired so expensively are expiring. So these are the challenges that we are facing as a nation. And definitely, to be honest with you, lockdown we cannot afford.
Still with the central bank. Deputy Governor Epson Wanguta announced that the central bank decided to keep the repo rate unchanged at 3.75% to continue supporting the weak domestic economy.
The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Namibia has decided to keep the repo rate unchanged at 3.75%. The MPC is of the view that at that rate it will remain appropriate to continue supporting the weak domestic economy that is still being weighed down by COVID, especially the economy that the weak economic activities that we are experiencing is being heavily affected by COVID-19 triggers, which possibly may trigger new restriction in many parts of the world. At this level, the repo rate we deem is still appropriate to safeguard the one-on-one link between the Namibian dollar and the South African rand, while also at the same time ensuring that we are meeting our international financial obligations.
Stand by for your sports update with Joey Gosses. From me, Michael Madimba, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year in prospect. See you in 2022.
Good evening and welcome to Sport Planet. I am Joy Gosses. We commence this evening's sport update with football. Tottenham Hotspur's Europa Conference League game against Rennes on Thursday has been postponed following several positive COVID-19 cases at the club. DBA brings us more.
Spurs boss Antonio Conte revealed on Wednesday 8 players and 5 members of staff had tested positive for coronavirus and said the outbreak has left everyone scared and worried for their families. Spurs had been expected to play their crunch European game against Rennes, with UEFA having strict regulations regarding the minimum number of players available, which must be met if possible. It remains unclear whether Spurs will ask the Premier League match at Brighton on Sunday to be postponed, but a clearly emotional Conte admitted the situation was almost impossible.
Barcelona president Joan Laporta called for unity after the embattled club were dumped out of the Champions League. Barca were consigned to the Europa League UEFA Cup for the first time since the 2003-2004 season on Wednesday, after being outclassed 3-0 by Group E winners Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena.
Xavi's Barca needed to win or hope Benfica failed to beat Dynamo Kiev elsewhere in the final round of group fixtures in order to avoid elimination, but the struggling La Liga giants were no match for Bayern, who were led by goals from Thomas Müller, Leroy Sané and Jamal Musiala. It is the 4th time Barcelona have been eliminated in the Champions League group stage after 1997-1998, 1998-1999 and 2000-2001, and the second time that they have fallen to the secondary European competition from the Champions League group stage following 2000-2001. Barca are also 7th in La Liga, 16 points off the pace as Laporta addressed the club's plight. We are sad about the results, but we have to move on. It is time to work hard and try to reverse this situation, Laporta told TV3. Barca's tally of 2 goals after their 6 group stage matches is the lowest recorded total in the Champions League, whilst only in 1997-1998 did they concede more goals at this stage than the 9 they have shipped this season.
Your sports roundup is up next. With that, we have come to the end of the year's last bulletin. It was indeed a pleasure being in your company. From myself, Joy Gosses, and the Primetime News production crew, a massive thank you to our global audience for your viewership and constant interaction. If it's your first time here, do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like and share with friends and family. May your holidays be well spent, and remember to keep it safe on the roads, mask up and sanitize. Together we can beat this invisible enemy. Primetime News will be back towards the end of January 2022. Remain blessed. Goodbye for now.